So, do you have the wrong name in Norway? You are an expat in Norway, a foreigner, and you are applying for work here. And you know that you are very well qualified.
Yes.
So, what are your chances to get a call back for a job interview based on your name, your background, your gender and religion? Yeah, that's a stupid question you might think, because Norway, we are known for openness and fairness and equality.
No discrimination.
Yes, so that wouldn't play any matter.
You hired.
I would love to think that that's true, but the realities are that there's a very clear job hierarchy in Norway. So, where is your name and background on the list? Are you in the top of the hierarchy, or are you down there at the bottom? And if you are at the bottom, don't cry, don't despair, because we will give you the secret hacks to just bypass the hierarchy.
It's illegal, it's shady.
We are diving into one of the largest surveys in Norway. Researchers sent out 3,000 fake job applications with names representing the different continents, like 37 countries. They were sent to private employers to see how is the callback rate just based on, your name. Yeah. And they also included, they wrote on the resume on relevant experience that these people had been, for instance, working in a Christian or a Muslim youth organization. Nothing more about religion, but they wanted to include to see if religion played any matter.
Or gender.
And it really does. For me, woohoo, because I have a Norwegian sounding name, so I would probably get a call back right away if I applied.
No discrimination.
Yes, and actually, and this is something that I don't think Norwegians like, actually. It shows that if you're a man with a Norwegian name, then your chances for getting that call back, that's the best chances.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm
Okay.
safe.
But if you included in your CV on your resume, relevant experience that you were working, for instance, in a Christian youth organization,
Then your chances are better. What?
down 7% less chance to get that call
So,
back.
like Martin working with a church organ, get
Yeah,
less chance.
so you know that religion is an issue in Norway. Who is most preferred among employers in Norway when it comes to expats and foreigners? Have you any idea, Mats?
Yeah, of course, IT specialists from India, Pakistan, or from...
Which we are depending on, but of course, the winner among expats are Western Europeans and people from US, Australia, Canada, John Smiths from Minnesota, and of course men here too. Among this group, men are preferred among employers towards women.
I'm Polish.
I know. We are dividing Europe into two zones.
Blocks.
Yes, we are really ugly in that sense, because Europe is not Europe. Western Europe, number one on the expats list to have a callback.
Yeah,
and then we divide it into Eastern Europeans and Russians and so on.
Yeah, my name is Dimitri. I guess I got a good
second
chance.
among expats to get a callback job. And I think it's really sad that we think that, for instance, if you're from Germany, you are better than from Poland, and these two people have a borderline. So, but that's the way in Norway.
So I shouldn't put Dimitri on my CV.
But I can tell you that among Eastern European, when it comes to religion, that's not such a big deal, actually. So, have you experienced any discrimination when applying for work? Have you felt that they really didn't look at your resume, only your name, and nobody called you back? Post us a comment and subscribe if you want to survive in Norway, not only when it comes to work, but a lot of other things. Food, for instance, oh, that's another story. Put a like on it if you do, so other people will see it. Yeah, okay then. And now we are going to the next of the list. Yes. You know, Chinese food or Vietnamese food, which I love. Oh, I love Vietnamese food. Because when it comes to expats and foreigners, group thinking, you know, then it's people from these countries. Vietnam, Thailand, China, probably Japan. Yeah. But a very strange thing among the people from China, Vietnam, is that now, if you're a woman applying from that continent, or you have a name that Norwegians think is from that continent and you're a woman, then your chances are better than for men.
Of course.
Here we see a change.
Of course.
When we're getting farther away from Norway, and then women are preferred to men. I think in this group there are also people from India, but that's it's not
marginal.
Yeah, marginal. People from India are valued less with Indian sounding names. And you know the funny thing in Norway, which is, I can't fathom this, but all the major IT companies in Norway, and we are lacking when it comes to IT. We don't have the knowledge that we need to have in this era. So the biggest major companies in Norway, who do you think they depend on? People from India.
Of course, I always call India when it's something wrong with my
brighter
PC.
brains that our zombie white-like faces. And there's huge groups of people from India, and they are recruited from India.
Yeah, because I think they have call centers there.
If you are an Indian guy or a woman in Norway applying for work, then you will not get the callback.
Why could that be?
It's
because the name is so foreign. Oh, it's hard to pronounce.
But
it's hard to pronounce, and maybe we think the employers think that you smell Indian food all the day.
Probably. Even though Norwegians love Indian food. Okay, it's a cucaracha, a cucaracha. It's people from South America.
Yeah, you can go
Pedro
away.
Gonzalez, Maria Ines. Yeah, and my family actually, they don't have a big chance of getting a callback if applying for work in Norway. But they are there after the white ones, and you're thinking, oh my God, still my continent, my background hasn't been mentioned. Don't worry, even though you're down the list, we will give you advice on how to poof.
But that sounds a bit shady, that advice.
But it's an advice. I want to tell all of you going off now, like, of course, they don't need immigrants in their countries. Of course, they prefer white ones. We are 5.5 million. Our birth rate is plummeting. And I'm telling you, this economy, this country is depending on foreign work labor. That's just the way it is. You know what? The Swedes are killing us when it comes to innovations. Our economy is lacking in the Western world. And Norwegian employers, they want to have change without changing. And then to the losers. On the bottom of the list, and I'm sad to say it,
I'm not there.
it's the whole of Africa. It's the whole of Middle East, because now suddenly Norwegians, when they see a name like Muhammad or Ibrahim or Fatima or...
Of course, they are dangerous, I would think, as a Norwegian employee.
They say certain parts of Africa, but then Norwegian employers say the whole of Africa. So they think that all African countries are Muslim countries. And if you have a name that sounds like it's from Pakistan, from Afghanistan, from Saudi Arabia, from another Middle East country,
Yeah, but it will as an employee.
you
will
have
be a big problem.
65% less chance to get a callback for an interview.
Why is it that?
We are racist. And if you were a woman with this Muslim sounding name, because that's what it is, then you had a better chance than the loser. A man like Mohammed Salah, writing on his resume that he was he worked for a Muslim youth organization. He is the biggest loser in Norway.
Why do you think it's like this? As an employer, I guess they have to pray 17 times a day and everything like that.
Of course, we are full of prejudice because what we are thinking is what we see in the news headings or whatever. If you are the best qualified, but your name happens to be Muhammad. If you're third generation from, let's say, Pakistan or Afghanistan living here, and you eat frozen pizza each day, and you even do cross-country skiing, but your name is Ibrahim or Muhammad.
What can you do?
Some drastic stuff. And you have probably thought about it already because it's name-based. But first of all, never use a photo in your application. That's a no-go because I think skin color has, I think that matters. And don't mention anything religious. No, in Norway, religion is a no-no thing. And then name change.
What? Lying on your resume?
I'm sorry, but your name is wrong. That's the thing. Norwegian employers are not able to look behind it. They see your name, and that's all they see. Well, there are two ways of doing it. One is like the honest way, and the other is the lying the shit out of your game. Okay, first to the honest way. In Norway, even though you're not a citizen, you can change your name, like in the registers and so on.
It costs you, I think it's 300 euros around that.
Yeah, you can do that, but I think there's a lot of paperwork and it's not so easy, but you can do it in Norway without being a citizen in Norway. Absolutely you can. And that would be the honest way, because then when you apply, you're applying with your real name on it, or real for now, I don't know. And the second is that you're just changing your name just for the application, and lie, and then you are thinking, what? But what happens when you go there to an interview and you meet your potential employer for the first time?
I will throw you out immediately, liar.
Yes, they will have a shock. But actually, the worst thing that will happen is that this employer will show their racist side and
real face.
Yeah, their real face. So, if I would give you an advice, I would say, lie. Don't change your name because that's too drastic. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but I would do the lying thing. Just because then they would look at your resume, and when you come to that meeting for the first job interview and they ask you, then you can say, I'm sorry, my experience is that nobody call back if I use my proper name. And I think most of the Norwegian employers would like, you might have a point, they won't say it, but okay. And they have seen your resume, so they want you. But then you might be thinking, but what the hell am I doing working in this racist, discriminatory...
Yeah, it's kind of research for yourself. Will I thrive in this environment if it's racist?
Yeah,
so
because
it's kind of a double
From
check.
everything that you've heard, I would think that would be a drawback. But Norwegians are strange animals. We are very racist when we don't know you and just see you and have all our prejudice connected to you. But when you're inside and people see that you can work and you are independent and you don't make any fuss, then they will love you. But just applying for work in Norway as an expat,
It's a nightmare.
it is. And
But in the end,
it's very embarrassing for us because we need foreign labor. We need the new
That's
perspectives. We
prejudice,
need
that's
new
prejudice.
ideas. We need people to do something else than just oil or whatever, fish or oil. We need you.
how proud
We need your skills.
How
Norwegian
how-
economy need your skills.
How proud are you of Norway on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 is best? Are you crying?
Yes, I am. But don't give up. You have a chance. Don't give up.